Hi, welcome to Watch Me Budget. My wife just let me know that she has some reimbursable expenses coming up from school, and there are a couple different ways that we could handle that. So I'll show them both to you. We have this reimbursable category, and what I did when she told me the amounts is I made a note. So to add a note to a category, you just hover over the category and click on the little note icon. The 14 that's already in there is budgeted so I can pay somebody back. And then these are the funds that she needs, $77.40 this Friday, and then $50 on June 4th. And these are both for club activities that she facilitates. So she's going to put up some money so the kids in the GSA can go play video games, and then probably the 50 bucks is for food, and she has those already in the school budget, but they don't give her the money until she's spent the money. So the safest thing to do is to budget the money to that category. Unfortunately, or fortunately, as you're supposed to, we have already budgeted all our funds to zero, and we didn't account for this upcoming expense. Since the only money we'll actually need in May is the $77.40, I'll go ahead and enter the $77.40 there. And I'm going to go ahead and put 50 in June's budget. I can budget the money. It'll make this go negative, and that doesn't matter because I'm not in June yet. I haven't entered income for June. I'm just putting that number there so that I don't forget that we need to budget it there, since we often don't budget money to reimbursable. And so you'll see that my budget is now negative $77.40. And if I want to have this number budgeted here, I need to take that from somewhere. So I'm going to start with pet supplies, since I don't think we need to spend that $5 this month. We can add back to that category later. And as much as I don't like taking out of these savings funds, Christmas is a long time away, and we'll have time to put that money back, so I'll take it out of there. And then for the remaining amount, I'll fudge it out of this beef category. Again, my poor beef category keeps getting rated. So that's one way to handle it. Now we know that when we spend this money, when she writes that check, there will be no chance that if we spent all the money in all of our categories, we would overdraft an account. When she takes the kids on that activity and spends the amount, it will come out of our account. So she'll enter a transaction, and I'll just do a dummy one for you. Categorize that to reimbursable. And you will see that that brings the budget reimbursable category back to the 14 we started with. Now let's say that she gets the reimbursement and we cash that check. And let's say that comes in the middle of June. Again, we categorize that to reimbursable. This time it's an inflow. You can see it doesn't matter that we got that money in a different account than we spent it from, because now our reimbursable category shows that we have been reimbursed the $77. In this case, we never go red. We budget the money, we spend the money, we get the money back, and if we don't want to keep that money in reimbursable because we don't see that we have a need for that anymore, we can just go ahead and subtract it from here. So I'll subtract that $77.40. And now all that's left in the category is $64, and we've actually added $27.40 available to budget. So I'll show you how I load a previous version just to get back to the state I was in before. Okay, so I'm going to go to the File menu. I'm going to choose Load Another Version. And, gosh, what time is it now? I'm going to go with today at 2:14. Okay, here we are again. And I still have 0 available to budget. And I still have these upcoming expenses, the $77.40 for the Wonderland. So what I'm going to do this time is let this go red. So I'll show you what will happen when she makes that charge. Say she uses the Citibank. Okay, now I'm going to enter that transaction for Friday. She will actually enter this transaction. I'll delete this one, but I'm just showing you how it works. Reimbursable. $77.40. And now when I look at the budget, you'll see this category has gone red. If I leave it red here, YNAB automatically tries to take that out of my available to budget for next month. What I'm going to do instead is called turning the arrow. I click on the red and I choose subtract from next month's category balance. Now you'll see next month's available to budget is still 0, and this category is holding that overspending. This money is coming out of my accounts, so if I were to spend every dollar here, I wouldn't have enough. But since I know that that'll be reimbursed really shortly and it's going on a credit card in the meantime, it's okay to keep it floating in the budget. And it's only $63.40, even though the transaction was more, because I already had $14 in that account that I had borrowed from somebody else that I'm going to be repaying. So when these things all wash out, this will be back to 0. And let's just pretend that we get that reimbursement on one of her checks and have to cash that. Say we get that on June 1st. I'd be also categorizing that to reimbursable and make a nice note. And that'll be an inflow of $77.40. And now you can see that transaction shows up in June, and it brings me back to the 14 I started with. So this turning the arrow is something you only want to do on a debt account like a credit card. You've already seen that down here. Or in a category that you're using for reimbursements when you know that you have plenty of money sitting in these other categories that could cover that temporary overspend. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. You can always click on the transaction directly from the outflows, since that hasn't actually happened. And I will also delete my other dummy transaction here. I like to show you how you can play with the budget because so many people are afraid of it. And the truth is, you can always, it's called rolling with the punches, rule 3. You can always change things once they're in there. You're not tied to the choices that you make. You can always edit them and adjust things as needed. So I'm going to leave my note here that just is giving me that heads up. I'm not going to worry about budgeting to it because I know we're fine to cover that expense for. Thanks for watching me budget. Please subscribe and give my affiliate link a try. You can get more information on YNAB, get a 34-day free trial, and get 10% off your purchase if you decide you want to use the software too.